Hi everybody, I'm Barb Steinberg, and I wanted to talk to you today about encouraging teen girls to be selfish. That's right, selfish. I know that word has gotten kind of a bad rap, and I'm thinking about a recent teen life coaching client that I had recently who had been in an on-again, off-again relationship with a guy, and he wasn't treating her necessarily the way that she would like to be treated. She didn't feel like he was being kind and sometimes a little bit too demanding of what he wanted from her. And it wasn't sitting well with her. But she has this really, really big heart, and she's really kind and loving, and she didn't want him to hurt. And so she continued to, I think, pay attention to his needs and try to give him things that he wanted to make him happy. So for example, prom was coming up, and he wanted to go to prom with her. And she really had made other plans with friends, with a group of her friends. They had the whole night planned, what they were going to do, and she was super excited about it and looking forward to it. But when this guy asked her and said that he wanted her to go to prom with him, and that if she didn't, he would be very sad and very upset, and she knew that he would be really mad at her if she said no. And so she said, well, I don't want him to be sad that on prom night, you know? And so you can see her dilemma. She has a big heart, so she doesn't want him to be sad, and she doesn't want him to be mad at her. So part of it is she didn't want to feel the uncomfortable feelings of knowing that he was mad at her. So we had to talk about selfishness, and actually that's actually in many cases a healthy thing to be. So we talked a little bit about how making decisions over and over and over to make other people happy, with the result of sacrificing your own happiness, it doesn't really work, right? So she could have said, yes, I'll go to the prom with you, and she would have given up her own happiness, but there's no guarantee that he would have been happy that night, that he would have had a great time, that it would have been enough, right? So we talked also about the word manipulation, that sometimes when people have big emotional reactions, like I'm going to get angry with you if you don't do this thing that I want you to do, that's kind of manipulative. Right? In some cases it is. And so she knew this. She knew this about him, that this would be his reaction based on their long history together. And so it was really about her getting comfortable with the idea of, it's not my responsibility to make him happy. It's his responsibility to make him happy. And I can be a kind, respectful person while saying no, while having boundaries, and while choosing my own happiness. And I know some people might be listening to this and it might be kind of bringing something up in you, bristling for you. Like, what do you mean be selfish? What do you mean, no, you should always choose your own happiness out of others, over others? And I know that that's not going to sit well with some people, and that's okay. It's just something to think about and play with, and see if there are ways in your own life that you can role model this for your girls. And if there are times that you can really support your girl and champion her making decisions that bring her happiness, even though it might not be what someone else wants her to do. Because isn't that what we're trying to do? Aren't we trying to raise empowered girls? And I talked to this girl about, if you have each moment, if you're choosing and making decisions based on what will bring you happiness, what you know that you want, then what that means is you'll have more and more days of happy moments, which means you'll have more and more happy days, or more and more happy months, and so on and so on. So it's really about teaching our girls to listen to themselves. So often they know what they want, but they just don't listen. And then they end up not as happy as they could be. So hopefully this is some food for thought that you can talk about with your daughters, and maybe there's some real life examples in your own life with your girls that she can hopefully emulate this and make some choices that will bring her happiness. So talk about selfishness and how sometimes it's actually pretty good to be selfish. Okay, thanks for listening. See you soon. Bye-bye.